When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes is the answer. Now, here is the host of The Long Bearded Guy, the Chief Catalyst, Strategist Guide at JEWIL International, Gordon D Melville.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Long Bearded Guy with Gordon D Melville on Inspired Choices Network. Glad you're here. Red Friday, and it's a special Red Friday because tomorrow is Remembrance Day. So I've got my puppy, and we want to remember everyone deployed. R-R-R-E-D, red. Remember everyone deployed. They're willing to stand on a wall for us so that we can do what we want, so that we can embrace our journey and love the process, which is our topic today. They're willing to do that for us. We do some things tomorrow, the 11th month, 11th hour of the 11th day, to remember. There's so few World War II vets left. It's such a poignant thing. And it's very near and dear to my heart, and yeah, very special, very special time of year, and we don't want to lose that. We have the freedoms we have and we enjoy because those people will do that, because they're willing to do that. And whether we agree with the war, disagree with the war, think they should be where they are, what doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. We can support the troops. We can support the soldiers. They're just doing where they're told. They're going where they were told. They're doing what they were told. So to be able to stand there and go, you know what? We salute you. We remember you. We love you for being there. We appreciate the sacrifices made. So thank you to everybody, vets, retired, active, and I don't care where you are on the planet. Thank you for what you do. Obviously, especially to the Canadian ones. Really appreciate you. We want to talk today about embracing the journey, love the process. And I want to say welcome. I've got my mug, my special mug, and I thank you for being here. If you're here somewhere and you're listening and you can get on, we're live streaming on the free app, the Inspired Choices Network free app. So you can go there and watch. If you go there to watch, you get into the chat room. My producer, Sarah, will give you a link into my live studio audience, which would be great. If you're watching this live, let me know you're here. And let me know where you're from. If you're watching this on a replay, hashtag replay, let me know that where you're from and where you're listening or watching from. You can we're also live streaming on inspiredchoicesnetwork.tv. We're also live streaming on Facebook and on YouTube. So you can find us all over the place. And you know what? I'm carried on more than 450 platforms globally, multiple times a week. So and all the hosts on the network are. So if you can want to plug in, or you hear something and you go, that was awesome, I need my dad or my brother or my uncle or my son or what to watch that or listen to that, you can pass that along. And I would appreciate that because I'm looking for that engagement. So I deeply appreciate you being here today. I deeply appreciate you spending some of your finite resource time with me today. Thank you so much. And again, I know there's people at work listening. I know there's people traveling listening. I know some buddies that are in their car traveling and they're hope to be listening today. So I'm want to say hi to them and acknowledge they're here. Just so you know, for those of you that don't know, who I first day with the new tongue. For those of you who don't know who I am my name's Gordon D Melville. I am on a mission to positively change the lives of 10 million men, every man I meet, by increasing their emotional quotient, their EQ. I'm the founder and CEO at JEWIL International. I'm a champion mindset mentor. I refer to myself at the moment as a legacy and resiliency strategist. I'm a multi-award winning international best-selling author multiple times. I'm an international keynote speaker. I am a champion mindset and energy coach for a pro basketball team this season coming up. So that's awesome. I'm so excited about that. And I teach the 7 levels of emotional intelligence for men. Talking a little bit quick. I serve entrepreneurial men and pro athletes are my avatars, are the people I go after, but I'll work with everybody. If you're a guy, that's where my heart is, because that's what I am, an entrepreneurial man. And Papa put pro athletes in front of me, so I have a soft spot for them. I love working with pro athletes. So that if you don't know me, that's who I am. If you do know me, I'm still Gordon D Melville. I'm still the long bearded guy, and all those things still apply. I'm still all those things if you know me. So I'm excited to have you with us. Find us on the app, obviously on the Inspired Choices Network app, or on Apple TV, Google TV, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your stuff, you can find us. So thank you so much for being here. Let's get into it. By the way, I should have mentioned, if you don't have your journal and your pen handy, you're going to want to grab something, because you're going to want to remember some of this stuff. And you're going to, oh, that's really good. I want to remember that. And because our brain only retains about 10%, even if we take good notes, 10% of what we hear, we're not going to remember. So grab a journal. You got a few seconds as I get started here. By the way, also, please like, love, share, subscribe to this channel. Please help me share it, like it, subscribe. That helps the algorithm and it helps pay for the show. So please like, love, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss any of them, whether it's mine or anybody else's, because there's some really good hosts on this network. Really some incredible people on this network. So you want to plug into everybody. All right. So embracing the journey, love the process. This has come up for me a bunch this week. And so I want to riff a little bit. There's a couple of things that I just wrote down, a couple of things that I want to kind of touch on, but I want to share from my heart, which I do every week anyway, as you all know. But embracing a journey and loving the process. A lot of times, what does that mean? What are we really talking about? The journey and the process. What do we mean? How do they differ? What's the difference between a journey and a process? So a lot of times the journey is the piece that we're actually living, right? Day to day to day, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. The journey of it all, right? The ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, the others, the everything, right? The journey of it, the adventure of going through life. The process is something that we can choose or not choose to happen as we go through the journey. As we go along the journey, are you open and willing to go through process? What do I mean? Process is something that you have to choose and allow to happen. Will we grow organically? Sure we will. Absolutely we will. But then we're at the mercy of whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whatever is going to come across our path to teach us or learn, that's what's going to come organically. But again, if you're my audience and you're connected with me and you understand and you're looking for, if you're happy where you are, I suspect you're not listening to me, right? If you're happy being holding the status quo and being mediocre and holding in that space, and it's okay, that's fine. If that's where you are, that's good. We all start someplace, right? But if that's where you are, you're probably not listening to me for very long. I typically again, pro athletes are high functioning. They're wildly disciplined. They're not happy with the status quo. They want more. And it's not that they're not grateful for what they are and where they have, but it's grateful for where they are and what they have, but not satisfied. Because a lot of times as humans, once we're satisfied, we don't push anymore. So that's process though, right? We step into the process. If you want to grow, you need process. You need to do things that are different than you've done before because you've used your best mind to get to where you are. Are you where you want to be? Well, no, I'm not where I want to be. I want to keep growing. Well, great. Then you need to add some process. How do you do that? Well, you know what? You get a coach. You start to learn stuff. You watch podcasts like this. You plug into the stuff. You read books. I'm voraciously reading. 5 to 7 every month. I'm still, for almost 35 years, I've been reading 5 to 7 books a month. I just can't get enough. And they're business books, right? When I get a little bit, I need something a little different, I'll read an autobiography or a biography of somebody because I'm going to learn from that. It's going to grow me. I'm going to hear some stuff. I go, oh, that's good. I like that. The thing with our process as opposed to journey, the journey is going to happen anyway. right? The time is going to go by regardless. The process is a choice. The thing is, and I want you to write this down. Please write this down. The more you go through, the more you'll grow through. Again, the more you go through, the more you'll grow through. And it's important because that we're going to get better. We're going to grow. Are we incrementally better today than we were yesterday? And the goal is not against anybody else. The goal is to say, hey, am I better tomorrow? That's the goal. I want to be better tomorrow than I was today. I forgot at the beginning. I want to read this. This is the piece I wrote for this episode. Embrace the journey, love the process is all about recognizing that life is a continuous journey and success comes from enjoying each step of the process. Along our journey, we encounter ups and downs, but these are just part of the process. Embracing the journey means appreciating every experience and learning from it, not just letting it happen, learning from it. Likewise, loving the process means finding joy in the daily actions and consistent habits that will lead us towards our goals. The process of change might feel slow, like planting seeds and waiting for them to grow, but it's where the real transformation happens. By loving the process, we stay patient and understand that growth takes time and effort, much like nurturing a plant. But in the end, this journey and process bring us closer to the best versions of ourselves. If it has to be intentional, it has to be, and it's not easy. It's simple. The processes are simple, but they're not easy. And how do I know that? Because less than 3% of the population does any kind of personal development. That's how I know that. That means more than 97% of the population goes, screw that. I am not doing it. Why? It's too hard. It's messy. It's painful. And you know what? At the end of the day, if 97% of the people aren't doing it, then there's a good chance 90% of my friends aren't doing it. In which case, if I start to grow, I'm going to leave my friends behind, and I don't want to do that. That's a choice we're making if we do that. It's a choice we're making to stay in that space and choosing to hold the status quo. And again, more than 97% of the people hold that status quo. They don't want to do the simple but not easy process of growing. Intentional growth. But that's what makes life exciting. That's what makes it, if I'm just going to, sleep, get up in the morning, have my breakfast, go to work, come home, have my supper, hang out, watch some TV, watch some Netflix, have some chips, and then go to bed, and then get up the next day and do it again 5 days in a row. And then on Saturday, I sleep in, I cut the grass, I do whatever on Saturday. I hang out with my buddies, watch some football, whether that's Saturday or Sunday. Sunday morning, I might go to church. Maybe not. Maybe I will. I hang out, maybe I barbecue a little bit, maybe have some beers with the guys, whatever it is. And Monday morning, I start the same process again. Day after day after day after month after year after year after year. It's like that's existing. That's not thriving. That's not living. That's existing. Thank you for posting, Christine. I appreciate that. The support is very, very much appreciated. I need to take a quick break. So as we go to this break, as I always tell you, don't forget to pause and breathe. We need to pause and breathe. Why? Because it helps us process what we're hearing. It helps us hear what we've heard and grounds us. As I go to break here, I want to just do a quick shout out to Jose Escobar. It's the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. So check out the Connected Leaders Academy membership. He has two businesses. One is Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. The other one is Connected Leaders Academy. And that membership will take your business to the next level. This is the perfect tribe to learn, grow, and connect like never before. The Connected Leaders Academy tribe brings together some of the highest level entrepreneurs from all over the world. Set up a virtual coffee with Jose Escobar today, and you can reach him at theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. And if you want to see him live and you're anywhere in the local Kitchener-Waterloo area, London, Guelph, we've got Jose's going to be here. Jose Escobar is going to be on our Monday stage on November 27th in the evening. He's flying in along with two other gentlemen from the U.S., Dr. Ken Rashan will be here, is flying in, and Dr. Oliver Reed is coming in. So if you're anywhere in the area and you want to see these people live, great opportunity, really good opportunity to meet some really high-level human beings and hear their story. So come to that. But like I say, pause and breathe. We're just going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk about sowing and reaping in the same season. You can't do it. It's very difficult. So don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about this some more. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville. That's me on the Inspired Choices Network. I'll be right back.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at JEWIL International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, sorry for the oops. I opened my phone and I've got people streaming and it opened and it made a noise, so I apologize for that. Thank you for being with me. We're talking about embracing the journey and loving the process. Embracing the journey, the adventure we're on, and loving the process. A lot of people don't want to love the process. A lot of people don't even want to do the process. So we want to talk sowing and reaping in the same season. It's very rare. It just doesn't happen. If we plant a seed, and I used an acorn. So if I take an acorn and put it on my driveway, it's going to get a little bit of sun and a little bit of water. So it might pop open and just sprout a little bit, but it's never going to reach its potential, right? Why? It's circumstance, where it's sitting. It's not, right? The journey of that seed is just to sit on that hard tarmac, right? So it's not going to go anywhere. If I put that same acorn in a planter box, it might pop up and it might get a little bit, but again, it's being constricted by its circumstance, right? Its journey in that box is going to be short-lived because it doesn't have room for roots to grow. But if I take that same acorn and I put it in a really good place in really good soil, it'll grow 100 feet. It'll become and fulfill its purpose. It will journey and process. If you chop a tree in half, and how do you know how old it is? You count the rings, What are the rings? The rings are the process of its growth on its journey. And the weird part is on a tree, sometimes if you cut it open in the right place, you'll see sap or bugs. Or I saw a picture of a bicycle that had been leaned up against a tree when it was small. The tree was small, and no one ever moved the bike. And the tree literally grew around the bike. So as the tree, it lifted it off the ground, and it became part of the tree. It was stuck in the tree. That's part of its journey. The interesting thing about sowing and reaping, what we sow in the spring, we have to wait till the fall to harvest it. What happens in between spring and fall? It gets water, it gets nutrients from the soil, it gets rain, it gets nurtured. It has a journey. That acorn has to be buried for it to do its thing. It's got to go through a dark period. And for that acorn to grow, it's going to break out of that little cap thing like this is going to pop off the top, and it's going to break that shell open. It's messy. It's destructive. It's painful. Growth always is. Growth doesn't happen for humans just the way we're built. Very rarely does real meaningful growth happen in our, well, it never happens in our comfort zone, first of all. That's why 97% of people, there isn't growth. There may be a little bit of organic growth, but there's no real meaningful growth. Why? Because it takes focus. We need to be able to focus. That acorn will pull the nutrients out of the ground, and I will add only the nutrients out of the ground that it needs to become an oak tree. The nutrients that it needs in the quantities it needs to become an oak tree. Its process will not allow it to pull anything out of the ground that it doesn't need. It won't allow it to pull more out of the ground. Even if it's a nutrient it needs, it's not going to yank more out of the ground than it needs to be able to become, to live out its purpose, to become its purpose. What's its purpose? Its purpose is to be an oak tree. What does that seed need? It needs sun, oxygen, rain, good soil, nutrients. It needs good stuff. It needs to be nurtured and cared for. What I can tell you is it difficult? Yes. Not easy. It's worth it, though. I can guarantee you, while it's simple, but not easy, very difficult, but it's always worth it. That intentional growth is always worth it. And when push comes to shove, humans are the only, and you've heard me say this before if you're a long-time listener, humans are the only living thing that were gifted the ability to change and to be able to choose our purpose. Change it as often as we want. That acorn has to be an oak tree. That acorn cannot pop out of the ground and look around and go, oh, look, it's a willow tree. I love that willow tree. It's beautiful. I'm going to be a willow tree. It can't do that. It doesn't have the latitude. It has to become an oak tree. I was talking to a lady on a virtual coffee. She had just bought I want to say it was a golden lab. Could have been a golden retriever, but I'm pretty sure it was a golden lab. But it was cuteness overload, right? She's patting this thing while we're talking. I said to her, if you take that puppy to a dog park and it sees a full-grown German Shepherd and gets all excited and goes, oh, look, it's a German Shepherd. When I grow up, I want to be a German Shepherd. Does it have that latitude? And she starts to laugh. She goes, no, it's going to be a full-grown golden lab. Humans were gifted the ability to reinvent ourselves every second of every day if we want to. We were gifted the power to make our day as good or as best we can. That's why I don't say have a nice day. You'll hear me say make it another great day. Why? Because I'm trying to empower people. I'm trying to get you to understand we can do this. You have the power to do it. We have been gifted the choice to be able to choose to grow intentionally. If we want to, we can direct that growth. Unbelievable. It's a ridiculously huge blessing. We can choose that. Now, we're choosing a harder life. The weird part is this, though. If you choose to do the easy things in life, your life will be hard. But if you choose to do the hard things in life, your life will be easier. Say that again. If you choose to do the easy stuff, not make the effort, just sort of glide through. If you choose the easy stuff, you choose not to do anything hard. You choose on purpose to do the easy stuff. Your life will be hard, very difficult. But if you choose to have discipline and do the hard stuff, your life will be way easier. I can assure you of that. It's worth it to push. But we have to be willing, if we're going to sow, we have to be willing to wait to reap. Right? The harvest, it'll come. And some things we sow, somebody else is going to harvest or reap. And some of the things that we reap, we didn't sow. But that's how it works. That's the beauty of how this journey and adventure works for all of us. If we can embrace the journey instead of pushing back. Embrace the journey. That acorn had to be put in the ground, in the dirt. The circumstances we find ourselves in, the hard stuff that happens to us that we have to deal with and go through. That's the dirt that hold the nutrients for us to grow. Stop pushing back on the hard stuff in our life. Those hard situations hold the nutrients we need to grow. You want to grow? Embrace the journey. Embrace that adventure. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. And then love that process. Is it hard? Yes. Is it difficult? Absolutely. And by the way, I'm not preaching to you something that I'm from my lofty ivory tower and going, hey, you know what? You all need to do. I'm talking to myself. I'm preaching to me as much as I am to you. And I'm not preaching, I'm sharing. But I'm sharing with myself. I'm talking to me. Is life easy? No, it's hard. But it's not about what happens to us. It's about how we respond to that. How do we respond to what happens to us? That's what's important. Good and bad happens to everybody. That's the way life is. That's the way the adventure is going to be. And choosing the process to grow intentionally makes it even harder. But it's worth it. You end up thriving instead of just existing. You'll grow. You'll get better. Rocky says not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. We need to keep moving forward. If you're one of my people, you're a long-bearded guy, disciple type person, you adhere to some of the things we're talking about, you're learning and connecting with this stuff, I would be shocked if you're not already doing. And you know what? I'm hoping some of these ideas help propel you forward. Some of the ideas help give you some hope, help give you some structure, help giving you some tools and strategies to be able to move yourself forward. That's what my prayer is. I need to take another quick break. I promise not to touch my phone, so there will be no weird sounds during the commercial break, outside of the commercials. But I do another quick shout out to Jose Escobar. Check out the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf to learn more about the morning and evening mastery routine program that's changing people's lives. This program will help you install systems on the bookends of your day to maximize your morning and evening routine. Set up a free strategy session with Jose Escobar today, and you can reach him at theentrepreneursbookshelf.com, or you can show up at Mo Mondays in Waterloo on November 27th and actually see him, shake his hand, get his autograph, get his book. He's got an amazing book that's got some of that stuff in it. You know what? Incredible human being. I'm so thankful for him as one of my founding sponsor partners. As we go to break, don't forget to pause and breathe. We're going to talk when we come back about finding our purpose along the journey. It'll help us. Our journey will be easier. Our adventure will be more fun if we know what our purpose is. And that comes through some of the process. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about finding our purpose in the next section. You're with Gordon D Melville, the long-bearded guy on Inspired Choices Network. I'll be right back. Don't forget to pause and breathe.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at JEWIL International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
The Connected Leaders Academy is the #1 fastest growing networking community for entrepreneurs. CLA assembles high-level leaders, titans of industry, and business owners under one roof. If you're an entrepreneur looking to grow personally, professionally, scale your influence, develop skills, and expand your network exponentially, the CLA is where you need to be. Want on to more podcasts and shows, speak on more stages, sell more books, products, and services, get more leads, referrals, acquire new clients, develop lifelong friendships, and more. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. Contact Jose Escobar on Facebook or check out www.claglobalsummit.com for more information.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. You're with Gordon D Melville, the long-bearded guy on Inspired Choices Network. For some reason, I've got Gmail stuck in my head. It's not Gordmail, it's Gmail. But anyway, we're talking about embracing the journey and loving the process. Embracing the journey, the adventure of it all, not running from it, embracing the journey, and then loving the process. Is it hard? Yes, life is hard. Get over it. Deal with it. That's just the reality of it, and we can't change that. That is, in that case, that is what it is. It's going to be that way. So one of the things we can do that can make it more fun and make it more of an adventure and make it so we're thriving instead of just existing is to find our purpose. Why are we here? What's driving us forward? And I'm going to give these to you fairly quickly. Okay, there's just a couple here. Some tips on how to find your purpose. So that give you a place to start anyway. If you're just starting into this personal development journey and you're not sure where to go, or how do I find my purpose? How do I find where I'm supposed to be here? It's an inward look, by the way. Search inward is one of them on here. Ask Papa what the purpose is. And I call God Papa because of my relationship with him, but ask however you identify higher power, whether it's higher power, it's universe, it's universal intelligence, it's source, it's God, it's whatever, however you describe that higher deity. Ask them, why am I here? And then be quiet and wait for an answer. Don't just rip it out. Hey, thanks so much. Thank you for this and this and this. By the way, I need this and this and this, and then run off. Ask and then sit. Meditate with it. Listen for his voice to tell you. To find our purpose. First one, identify. So I guess the first one was search inward is the first one. The second thing, identify the things you care about. Where's your heart at? What are things you get passionate about? Identify things you care about. Sit down and write a list. What are the things I really, really get excited about? Like really excited about. Reflect on what matters most to you. What lights you up? What changes your physiology, the way you move and talk and the excitement in your voice when you share it with somebody? I was a guest judge in Niagara Falls a couple of weeks ago, and this one young lady, where I was talking to her just this week, and I said to her, when you started to talk about traveling, you lit up. Your physiology, just your whole body changed. You sat up more straight, and you were animated, and you were talking with your hands, and your voice was excited, and you were louder, and that lights her up. That matters to her. Something that's important to her, part of her purpose. Recognize your strengths and talents and genius, your superpowers. Recognize what they are. You ever sat down and written out, hey, one of my producers challenged us to do that a while back. Write down what your expertises are. What are your geniuses? What are your strengths and talents? And don't say, I don't have any. I tried. She wouldn't take that. She wouldn't let me. She wouldn't let me. We all have strengths and talents. We all have superpower. What is yours? Write them down. Try volunteering. Use your gifts in service of others. Volunteer. Use your gifts in service of others. You'll find passion there. You'll find purpose there. Why? Because you're outside of yourself. Sometimes when we need to search inward and we need to look in, but sometimes we get on a hamster wheel. When we do that too long, we're running on that hamster wheel, and we just nothing to interrupt that. Excuse me, and all of a sudden things get bigger and 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 bigger, and the next thing you know, we're overwhelming ourselves with look at all the stuff that's going on, all the stuff that's going wrong. We make a mountain out of a molehill. Why? Because we can't get off that hamster wheel. When I get into and this happened more before, I still do it on occasion. If I get into a space where I wake up in the morning and it's low vibration, not necessarily depression, although it could be there too, but just low energy, low vibration, not really feeling like I want to get out of bed. I do a thing where I go right to the bottom of I've got, I don't know how many, probably a couple hundred open conversations with people, because I don't delete them. I don't delete the conversation. So there's some of them, I've probably got 4 or 5 years worth of stuff in my phone. So I'll go right to the bottom of that list, and I find the name right at the bottom, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Haven't talked in forever. Don't know where you are, what's going on for you today. But I want you to know I'm thinking about you, and I love you. Big hugs. And I send that to them. If you received that from someone you hadn't heard from in a while, would it lift your spirit? If you had any kind of affinity for that person, if you hated them and you had a big fight, maybe you what the hell is that? But anybody else, for most people, it raises your vibration. And what I do then is copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy 60, 80 times. What does that do? It raises my vibration. Why? Because I'm focused outside of myself. I'm trying to encourage other people. So try volunteering. Use your gifts in service of others. Imagine and visualize your best possible self. What does that look like? If you could have extreme success, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, what does that look like? What does your best self look like? And don't just dream about it, write it down. Imagine, visualize your best possible self. Write it down. Describe that in detail. It'll help you find your purpose because it'll tell you who you are. We can't go to another step until we figure out where we're at. Cultivate positive emotions like gratitude and awe. Work on them. Work on gratitude. I try and write out 3 to 5 every day. What are my gratitudes at the end of the day? What are the things I'm thankful for today? And I could write the same ones, the sun, waking up, my wife, my sons. There's lots of things that could be the same every day. But trying to find different ones every day. And it can be something small, a smile from a significant other or a child that was especially meaningful that day. It just lit your heart up. It doesn't have to be some money. It rained, and so the grass got greener. There's so much to be thankful for, but we need to cultivate those positive emotions. Search inward, and then raise your EQ, raise your emotional quotient. If you can raise your emotional quotient, it will help you find your purpose. It will help you find where your journey is supposed to be. It'll also help you embrace the process and love the process because you can put it in perspective. Having high emotional quotient will raise all of your relationships. Business, personal, everything will get better. So there's a few ways to get you started. Is it an exhaustive list? No. If you do all those different things, will it absolutely guarantee to give you your purpose? No. Is it a good place to start? Absolutely. It'll get the ball rolling. That segues me into, I want to do a quick thing. Mentorship. If you want to move to another level, and right at the moment, we're coming up at the end we're almost halfway through, shockingly, we're almost halfway through November. November already. So wrapping up our year, doing a wrap up on the end of our year. So being able to look back and analyze it and go, hey, what happened well? What didn't happen well? What did I get done? What did I not get done? What should I have gotten done? Or not even should. What did I have on my list of things to get done that I haven't gotten done yet? How do I finish the year powerfully? And how do I set up in the next 6 weeks, the end of 2023, to be ready to springboard into 2024 and rocket myself to really accelerate what 2024's successes are? I have a half-day program where we spend 4 hours. We can do it in the morning, afternoon, or evening. That will help analyze what your year has been, look at it top to bottom, solve some of the challenges that we can inside that 4 hours, and then set up what next year is going to look like. Set up some processes and some skeleton stuff to be able to go, okay, so this is what next year is going to look like. This is the goals for next year. This is what the processes are going to look like going into next year. If that's something that you need to do, reach out to me. It's not ridiculously expensive to do that, but it's a really, really, really impactful half day. Those 4 hours will change your year and will probably change, not probably, if you actually execute, it absolutely will change 2024 for you. You can reach me at thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. And if you're looking for something that's more group, even more cost effective, Box Inside Out. I have men's cohort. I have women's cohort. I'm halfway through a women's cohort at the moment. I had never done one before. I was asked and challenged to do a women's version, which I'm halfway through, and it's been unbelievable. And that's their words, not mine. I'm learning a ton. I'm enjoying it so much. But it's been life-altering in just the first 3 sessions. And that's their critique of it. It's very powerful, very, very powerful. If you want to deepen your emotional quotient, if you want to ground yourself and understand what your true worth and value is, setting a foundation so that anything you do on top of that will grow exponentially because you've got the good foundation underneath it. If that's of interest to you, again, reach out. Gord, then just send me an email to the longbeardedguy@gmail.com and say Box Inside Out, or say half day program. And I'll respond to you. I answer all my own emails. I'm not sure that's a good thing. Probably a good thing. I answer all of my own email. So, and again, the same thing for you want mentorship stuff. You want me to talk to your men's group, your church, your charity, your church, whatever it is. You want me to talk to whoever. I'll reach out. Happy to do that. I want to do that. I'm doing it literally all over. At the end of September, I was in Atlanta talking to 80, 90 guys. Keynote speaker for a bunch of men. It was beautiful. It was an amazing 2 days. Incredible 2 days. Matter of fact, that was run by Dr. Oliver Reed. You can meet him live on November 27th. He's flying in. I met him in Atlanta, but I don't think that's his home. Anyway, point is, if you need or want mentorship, coaching even, reach out. What you've always done got you to where you are. Are you where you want to be? If not, you need to do something different with me or somebody else. I don't trust a coach that doesn't have coach. I've got 4 different coaches and a therapist. And it's not because I'm whack, contrary to some popular belief. It's because I want to stay healthy. That's the whole point of it. I want to stay healthy. So I make sure that I look after my mental awareness, which includes my mental health. We got to take another quick break. Reach out to me. The Long-Bearded Guy @gmail.com. Reach out to me. If you have questions, concerns, you want to tell me I'm full of shit, reach out to me. I appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, don't forget to pause and breathe. But when we come back, we're going to wrap it up and do the quick call to action. And shockingly, this time goes so fast. I love spending time with you all. Don't go anywhere. We got another quick piece to talk about, and then we're done for the day. But thank you so much for being here. Don't go anywhere. Don't forget to pause and breathe to ground yourself. You're with the Long-Bearded Guy, Gordon D Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. I'll be right back.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the Long-Bearded Guy, Gordon D Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at JEWIL International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to the LongBeardedGuy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for talking to me and listening to me and interacting with me today. Embracing the journey, love the process is what we've been talking about today. So we've talked about what that was about, what we're really talking about with the journey, the adventure. Why would we want to embrace it? Loving the process and what the difference is between the journey and the process. We've talked about sowing and reaping in the same season doesn't happen. We talked about finding our purpose. We've talked about so many different things. We've talked about getting in touch with me to help yourself move forward, to wrap your year and to kick off next year with a bang, and to make it go boom. I was talking to a gentleman, a client I had a couple of years ago. He went from 50 grand in his business. He's an entrepreneur, $50,000 a year to $500,000 a year doing the process this way. So reach out to me. We can make some, whether you're business or not business, we can make some major changes for you and improvements. So reach out. So what's the call to action between now and next Friday? Write out, I'm going to challenge you, right? And you've heard me say that I'm here to rattle your chain, rattle your cage, and get you to do some stuff that you maybe haven't done before, or get you to renew or remember some of the things you learned years ago, but to refresh that. Write out clearly, what is your purpose? Do you know what is your purpose? Write it out clearly, crystal clear. Write it out. Don't just think it in your head. Write it out. Along your journey, what are you willing to do to get it? What are you willing to sacrifice? Really, truly, because it's going to be painful and you're going to have to sacrifice to get there. What are you willing to sacrifice to achieve your purpose, to be fulfilled in your purpose? What are you willing to do along the journey to get it? Willing to do anything? Obviously legal and moral, but anything without stepping on people, without hurting anybody else? What are you willing to do? You might be surprised with what your answer is. That's the homework. That's the call to action. Okay? Write out clearly what your purpose is. And then along your journey, what are you willing to do to get that? Next week, Friday, November 17 already. Same noon, same place, same wonderful station, same happy beard. Come and join me. We're going to talk about no judgment, just love and growth. No judgment. I could have written that. No stigma, just love and growth. I hate the word stigma. You've heard me say it. I hate that word. Sanitized, civilized word we use so we don't have to admit what we're doing, which is just being judgmental. No judgment, just love and growth is what we're going to talk about next week. That will be a very impactful one. Not that they're not all, but that one will be especially impactful. That's really near and dear to my heart in terms of judgment and not leading with judgment, leading with love. And that oddly enough, we grow. As human beings, we grow. I want to thank you for being here today. Again, spending your finite resource of time with me today. I'm drinking my herbal tea, lemon echinacea, and I think that's locally sourced wild honey. Again, looking after my journey, part of my process to look after myself. Thank you for plugging in. Let me know you're here. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you learned anything. Let me know if you hated it. just engage. Let me know you're here. Right? Even anger is good. It's an emotion that lets things out. It means you're alive. So that's awesome. Reach out to me. We'll see you next week for No Judgment, Just Love and Growth. This week, as you go out, be courageous. It's not lack of fear. It's feeling fear and do it in any way. Be courageous. Be unapologetically you. Unabashedly. Don't sacrifice in any way of being you. You want to be unique? Be you. Nobody else can do that. Make it another great week. I love you. Massive hugs. Live out you abundantly and with intention. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Massive, massive big hugs. And remember, everybody deployed as we go into Remembrance Day. Thank you all. Love you.
Thank you for tuning into the Long Bearded Guy Show. You are appreciated and loved. Gordon D Melville returns Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on the InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, make it another great week leading with love, powerfully designing, crafting, and living out your positively impactful legacy life you were created for. Big hugs!